So I'm Adam Kiel. I'm the Executive Director of the Soil and Water Outcomes Fund, and we help connect farmers with market opportunities for ecosystem services like water quality improvement, carbon sequestration, emission reductions, those kind of things, trying to find a value for those outcomes that farmers can produce by implementing things like cover crops. So we're a carbon program that works with producers and connects them with companies in the value chain of the commodities they produce. So to use some terminology from the carbon market, we're an in-setting program. So oftentimes we're connecting farmers with companies who are either buying commodities from those farmers or using those commodities to produce a product that's sold to consumers or used in livestock or other sources. But the companies who purchase insets from us have direct connections to the farmers who enroll with us. So we work with companies like PepsiCo, Cargill, Ingredion, Coca-Cola, Target are just some examples of the companies. And all of those, as I mentioned, have some connection in some way to the commodities that are produced on the farms that we enroll. You hear the term additionality a lot, and the way we operate, we look on a field-by-field basis, and when you first enroll, you have to do something on top of what you're already doing. So unfortunately, in our program today, and I'll talk about what some future opportunities could look like, that no-till, if you've been a long-term no-tiller, would not be that practice to qualify you. You'd need to add something, whether it's cover crops or some other practice to get you in the door. You need to do something to add to the baseline that you're currently implementing. But that's the way carbon programs operate today, as you noted. What I see in the future is opportunities for farmers who are already doing practices to get credit for those environmental benefits. That's not here today. I think it's coming in the next couple years. And that's related to kind of this carbon intensity concept. So when we think about carbon intensity, that's the carbon score, if you will, to produce a crop. And farmers that are already no-tilling, already doing cover crops like this, have a lower carbon intensity for the crop that comes off this ground. So whether they participate in a program like ours or not, they have a better carbon intensity score than someone else that doesn't do these practices. And I think the day is coming when that's going to be recognized. In the next couple of years, you're going to see some things come out of the Inflation Reduction Act, and specifically the biofuels market, looking to incentivize carbon scoring and carbon intensity calculations and rewarding biofuel producers for using lower carbon intensity feedstocks. So that's kind of some insights on what I think is coming. But the here and now today, it seems like additionality is a key. Yeah, so carbon intensity scores are calculated in the biofuels market. They're calculated using environmental models, which look at the way crops are grown. So this field, for example, we'd enter data about the cover crops, the tillage practices, the fertilizer program, the fuel usage. All that's used to calculate the carbon intensity tied to the soybeans or corn that comes off of this field. So there's operational data that goes into a model. In this case, for the biofuels industry, it's called the GREET model. And that gives a carbon intensity score for the crop that's grown in this field. So unfortunately, I don't see standardization in the near term. What I think we can do in the near term is be transparent. As programs, we need to be transparent about what kind of data is required, what the contract terms are, what models and sampling programs are being used. All of that is very important for the farmer to understand. What we do is we have a page on our website just for transparency, and farmers can go see details about our program, how we collect data, what data we collect, how we come up with their payment calculation, and how we measure things moving forward. So I think that's important for all programs to be is just transparent with the farmer in these days that standardization doesn't exist. So that transparency allows farmers to compare programs, but until programs have that information out publicly available, it's challenging to see the differences between all of them. In our program, since we're an in-setting program on the carbon side, we have to work with farmers in supply sheds or draw areas of our partners. So that's very geographic specific. In 2023, we're going to be expanding to 12 Midwestern states, and within those states, I'd say we cover about half of the geographic area of those 12 states. You can go to our website and see those specific areas, but we hope to grow that. But to do that, we need to grow our customer base as well, and our customers are those companies that I talked about. Lastly, I'd just say that understand that there's a lot of confusion amongst farmers in this space, and it's understandable. We're here to be a resource. We want to be farmer friendly and help farmers navigate this confusing space. So if there's questions about our program or others or how to engage in that, I'd urge them to reach out to our team and see what we can do to provide good advice to farmers.